Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan, and you are watching me on the wonderful platform of USA Global TV and Radio, and I'm presenting the Talking Heads program about my episode on fueling a greed machine to sacrifice our dreams. That's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Fueling a greed machine to sacrifice our dreams. Well, let's use the microscopic magnifying glass and let's start to go in and analyze. All right, with no judgment, of course, because we don't judge. We don't judge, we don't blame, we don't gossip. Well, we try not to anyway, because we're work in progress. All right, so fueling a greed machine. Fueling a greed machine could be anything that you perceive to be, whereas you are losing part of your energy, where you feel fatigued, where you feel at a loss, where you feel stuck in a corner, where you feel that you are no longer in control of your life. Or were you in control of your life? We are now going to start to look at things. Right. So the greed machine on a global consciousness, planetary, is, yes, about the greed machine of what we live and decide our decisions in the outer world. The outer world being about survival, competition, egging up trends, convincing us to act this way, to take this, to drink this, to smoke this, because it's the trend. This is a greed machine. The greed machine also is in the way of monetary globalization, in the way that we are no longer in control of our life, but we haven't been in control of our life. We actually do need, does a greed machine, does it sacrifice our dreams? Well, it can do if you keep on having to learn the lesson. And by my lesson, I mean, if someone is taking energy from you and you feel drained, and you feel you don't feel optimum health, and you feel like you're living somebody else's life, then yes, you are fueling that greed machine. But you can turn that greed machine, that lesson, into something. You can turn that obstacle lesson into a positive, so that it helps to work in your life. So first of all, you need to understand why this same lesson keeps on occurring. And then you need to almost start to become friends with that lesson. Instead of it looking at oh, it's darkness, but it's darkness because there's something within you that mirrors that darkness, that shadow. There's something within you that you keep on within your subconscious, could even be in your cells, in your DNA. And because you haven't learned to transmute it, transform it, in order for it to be released and let it go, it keeps on occurring. So it's almost like you're a mirror. So yes, we do need the greed machine. We need the greed machine in order for us to wake up to the lesson that is presented in front of us and within us. If we don't learn that lesson, then that lesson only deepens and becomes more dense. So the lessons become a level further up and heavier until you cannot cope, until you say, okay, tell me, where am I going wrong? What is this lesson? What do I have to learn here? Why does it keep on happening to me? Why do I keep on attracting more of the same that is not leading me, not making me happy, making me feel drained, making me feel like I've lost part of myself, making me feel that I can't have the room to find myself even. So then you have to bring in the heart, because the heart, it's almost like there'll be silent nudgings anyway, but the heart works with the greed machine, because the heart, the greed machine, is our ego. It's our fear-based lower ego. So the heart works with the ego to show you the lesson. So the greed of the ego wants you to continue this lesson, and it will do until you wake up from that lesson. Now, the nudgings of your heart will give you you will magnetize certain synchronicities. Certain people will say something that will spark and trigger. Spark meaning spark, a divine spark, a light that's saying, wow, I'm getting this, and you're piecing it like a jigsaw. Trigger is what we need. We have to have the triggers, because the triggers help us to say, that's it. I can't take any more of this. So the more triggers, I know, bear with me, go with me with this. The more triggers you have and magnetizing to you through people that have agreed to play that role in order for you to learn the lesson, face the lesson, awaken, and free the lesson. Love the lesson free. You love the lesson free by listening to the nudgings of your heart. If you are totally closed off, so the greed machine will, in actual fact, sacrifice your dream if you do not learn that lesson, if you are not grateful for the people that played that lesson, played that experience. Okay, it wasn't a nice experience, and there's many different levels of hurt, betrayal, pain, suffering, trials, tribulations, suffering. We are here to go through this. We have to go through this so we can become the best version of ourselves. We can become so that we live from the balance of our heart our inner heart, our intuition, and the balance of our mind with the application of love, which is the heart, and with the constant chattering and background noise of the outside world. If you find that you are still learning the lesson and not learning the lesson, or not even aware that you're learning the lesson, what you have to do is close your eyes, turn off the phone, turn off all distractions, because distractions and the phone carry a certain frequency that almost blocks the flow of your heart energy, of your true connection to your consciousness, to a higher consciousness. So you have to do this even for 5 minutes. It's so important, because only then you will begin to become a third person, almost like a doctor to yourself, and you will end up looking at your life. You might find that something will trigger you now in this present moment that actually relates to the pain and the experience that you thought was over. But it's not over, because it's still stuck, stagnant, deep within the cellular memory. So the greed machine, the triggering, the people that play these roles, be grateful for them, because there is a lesson. There is a lesson to learn. Be grateful that these people dimmed. Yes, they offered to come into this life and dim out their own light, not be of the light, so that you can discover, find, and emanate your inner light to balance with the outer world. So the world may fall around you, but you will land on your feet. And that's what it means. Basically, it's all chaos out there. And the thing is, if we continue fueling this greed machine in a negative mind shift, in a negative low vibration, if you continue, because darkness feeds darkness and will become more powerful. The whole point is to understand the darkness is there, yin and yang, for you to discover the light. And the more you go on this journey, the light, the more you go into this darkness, dark shadows, your light starts to get brighter and brighter and brighter, to the point that lesson says, okay, hey guys, or hey girls, hey people, she's learned that lesson, or he's learned that lesson. Yeah? Once you've learned that lesson and that light is turned on, bing, bright, that lesson and that pain and that suffering and that tribulation, that trial, finally is free. And guess what? Yeah, finally it can go on and evolve into what its dream was to be. Or the energy goes and leaves the planet and goes somewhere else in the universe, where maybe there's a planet that needs the energy and the vibration of 3D because in the universe, there is many dimensions and there's many different planets. Of course, it's not just us here. So if we as a human collective consciousness are now moving into 5D, we have to learn our lessons from 3D, and we are still need to learn it. There's still more to clear. So as we are clearing our energies, purifying, facing, transmuting, transforming the alchemical change, at the same time, the whole planet is changing. So planet Earth, she's already moved up, but she needs to clear things. So right now, there's the energy, all the energies, what we have caused harm through the eons of time, through our different lives, in our past lives, in our multidimensional selves, because the soul is split and it's everywhere. It's everywhere in different dimensions. So maybe one part of your soul is not of the light. So the whole thing is about 5D is about bringing all your soul compartments, whether they are of the light or not of the light. We need to bring them all into one whole, one soul, because they're all over, and that's what's happening right now. We're getting nudgings, we're getting murmurings. 1 minute we're going, yeah, we've got that, wow, we've got it. And then suddenly, oh, we fall back 3 steps backwards, and we're thinking, what's going on here? I'm not getting this. I'm not getting it. I thought I had it. I've been studying for ages. I've been studying. I'm a guru, blah, 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 blah. You know, the ego starts chatting to justify. But we're all in new times. And it has never been before where we, as a human being, our higher consciousness, which is going to descend into our human embodiment, where the soul of that's scattered everywhere is joining into as one. Because of this, our mission is to become spiritual being, but not to come out of our bodies and ascend. No. Our mission is to ascend in our physical body, where our higher divinity is our inner world. Our choices will be the connection, but we cannot forget the outer world, because we need both. We need both, because there's lots of clearing. And the reason why we do need both is that we need to understand Earth is clearing. She's clearing the karma of war. She's clearing the karma of pain, struggle, trial, tribulation. But right now, the energy of war is coming up from the core of the earth. So it is the greed machine, because we caused it. So it's coming up to be released. And that's why there's lots of this energy going around. People go, oh, there's going to be another war, blah, blah, blah. All we're going to do is add more to that energy. We just have to understand, yes, we created this. And because we created this throughout eons of time, throughout our different multidimensional souls within our past lives. We created this, and we have to bear responsibility. And how we have to do this is go back into our heart and know it's not just about trying to save the world, because honestly, one person is not going to save the world, no matter how much they try. Yeah, there is hope. How people relate and see a difference is when someone is living that life, when someone is working at their shadows, when someone has learned that lesson. Once they've learned that lesson, you will magnetize people that need to learn that lesson, because that's how it works. So it's almost when they come to you, you haven't to have the ignorance to say, oh, I'm not going there. I'm not going to learn that lesson. You know, I've already done that. I'm way past that. I don't need more fool you. You will heal that person more, and the energy, because you have already freed yourself from that lesson. The way that you freed yourself goes into the big universe to say, hey, that lesson's learned. Okay, that energy needs to go somewhere else. So not only are we healing on a physical level, we are healing on a metaphysical level. So all the work you have worked on yourself, in your inner world, facing your shadow, learning the lessons, it has not gone unnoticed. Not at all. It's out there. And that energy is out there, and it's going to like the grid, like the universal grid. And it's helping others to cleanse, to purify, to face their lesson. So it's not all about, I did this and I got through it and this is my way. No, it's not. It's really not. It's about, that's your testimony. But that doesn't mean to say that is the way that that person who's going through the same lesson with different people has to use that same recipe. The fact that you got yourself through that, the fact that it goes into Earth's atmosphere like a big cloud of positivity, of light, that energy will travel and go and attract and help to heal others. So really, we are one collective consciousness. We are one love. But right now, we still need the lessons of the greed machine. Now, the greed machine could be about the way that you have your fear. It could be little fears. It could be big fears. It could be the fear of all your insecurities. It could be even more deeper than this. But right now, when people say we are in troubling times, yes, we're in troubling times because we need to clear this. And once we start to look at, we need to cleanse planet Earth by connecting our hearts to the heart of Mother Earth so she can purify. So there's many energies going about at the moment, and there is the war energy. Basically, it's the war of the mental. Yep, it is. It's the war of the mind. That's what's going on. And we need this at the moment in order for us to be delivered and free us from our trials, tribulations, our darker shadows. We need to go through it, the rousing of the tunnel, but we need both of the components. We need them both. And as I said, you start to move away, you start to move away, and you start to move away. But just because you've moved away means that you can still do the healing at a distance. You may not want to involve yourself in that lower vibrational energy, and that's understandable. We all have a choice. So the way we do this is we do a collective healing, and we imagine everyone being embraced, covered in this beautiful golden light. That is a healing in itself. So fueling a greed machine, does it really sacrifice our dreams? It will do if you don't learn your lesson. But maybe your dream was to continue not to learn your lesson, to continue not to be of the light, to continue being a role model to help free other souls. Maybe it's not your mission to have your soul be of the light in this life. We have to learn to surrender this and understand the higher divine purpose. It's not all going to be light and lovely and hippie and great. You know, I'm all for that. I'm so all for that. And to be honest, really, I was kind of going on to that. Wow, life is... And then suddenly the universe said, oh no, they took me down. They took me down. They took me down way into my root chakra, way into that. I said, what are you doing there? Obviously, there was lessons for me to learn about stability, responsibility. That is where I had to learn this because it was lack. So the greed machine helps us to understand of lack, because the greed machine is lack. I know it's weird, isn't it? People who have got all the riches in the world, but they're not happy. And they end up destroying themselves, hurting others and loved ones, or they end up being like a lot of people have been, in the 27 Club, where they can't handle it. They felt they sold their soul. So we need to start to see the greed machine instead of blaming, instead of saying, oh, there was a means and a way and a purpose for the greed machine, for us to realize and wake up from the lessons and learn the lessons and be grateful for that lesson and be grateful for that person that lowered their light, agreed to come into this life and lowered their light so that you would become a better version of yourself, so that you would evolve into a light being. Also, we have to learn that, lastly, and it pains me to say this, it really does, we are not all on the ascending path, waking up, leading by our heart, connecting to our higher consciousness, living life from the inside out rather than the outside in. Some of us are not of the light and have agreed not to be of the light, and that's okay. Each soul will evolve at the time that their soul will wake them up, and it might be on this planet, it might not be. But we have to understand not blame, not gossip. Know that they have a purpose too. And their purpose was to lower their light, not be of the light, so that we who are ready can become the light and never go back to being not of the light. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan. I thoroughly enjoyed talking with you on the topic, discussion of fueling a greed machine. I do hope that you took some tools that resonated with you. Remember, it's of a collective consciousness. It's not of my ego. It's of one, because we are one, we are love. And remember to be patient with yourself. And if that lesson keeps coming along, stop. Stop what you're doing. And just say, heart. And say it honestly, heart, why do I keep going through this? What is it you want to, what is it you want to tell me? What is it you want to show me? And your heart, in your truest intention, from your true intention, will show you, maybe in a song, maybe in numbers. I mean, I get a lot of messages, I know, through car registration plates, through certain colours, through certain messages from films, songs on the radio. Listen to songs on the radio, because the divine, the higher realms, really synchronize and give you messages through this. And they synchronize by having people, walkings that come into your life and you don't see them again. But there was a vital lesson. There was a key component for you to eventually learn that lesson. All right, so I'm not going to go on anymore. My voice is very soft. I thoroughly enjoyed, as I said. You can find me, Dr. Madalene Chan. I do the courses with Dr. Jacqueline, and we have our courses on usaglobaltv.com/education. And basically you go on there, and what I've been talking today is more in depth, more in detail, so you will understand how to transmute your shadow, how to learn your lesson, how to wake up, and also learn not to be judging, blame, condemnation, criticism. We will teach you the tools, how you can deal with the lower vibrations. And as you learn, your heart will expand and give you intuition as well. Because remember, we are teaching you, we are guiding you. And through this guidance, it will open your heart and you will expand. That will be relating to your life. But you must start with the foundations. You must start somewhere. And then you can go off and fly and be all you can be. Fueling a greed machine. Yes, to sacrifice our dreams, but it's your choice. If you want to do that. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan, and I will see you next week. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. And all I'm going to say is keep up with your shadow. Bye.